It might surprise you that BMW didn't always specialize in cars you can't really afford. And this guy, they get back to their roots of pretty affordable and highly delectable. Let's drive the 2013 BMW 135 IS and check the tech. Now, before we talk about a 2013 anything, we've got to take you back to 1977, when, in the US at least, BMW is still a very niche, very European car maker. Then along comes the original 320i, and it captures a wide swath of the American public's attention. Great engine, great suspension, and grown-up, elegant lines. Plus, it was big enough to look like something Americans could imagine driving. It also didn't hurt that BMW's 3 Series arrived about the same time that yuppies did in the American cultural psyche. And for better or for worse, BMW's been the official car of the American bourgeois ever since. But the real key to the 3 Series back in the day was its simplicity, its capability, and its style. And that's what we're seeking in the 1 Series today. Now, you may think the 1 Series looks almost comically small on the road, but if I can paraphrase Gloria Swanson, it's the other cars that got bigger. This is actually just about the same footprint as the original 3 Series, and it was not considered a tiny car. Now, length is the most interesting comparison. The two cars are less than an inch apart. From there, the height and width grow a bit on the 1 Series, yet it appears smaller on the road compared to its contemporaries. The 1 Series has 2 more cylinders, a liter more displacement, and almost 3 times the power, moving 25% more weight from 0 to 60 in less than half the time it took its ancestor. All of this is a lesson in modern car trends, not just BMW's. Spot a 135 IS by its wheels, aerodynamic kit, more monochrome body-colored parts outside, and the best-looking exhaust tips this side of a Porsche in the back. Now, that 320 horsepower is mated up with 317 foot-pounds of torque. Nice numbers for a pretty compact car, courtesy of a lot of technology, as I mentioned. Twin-power turbo means 1 turbo, but with 2 scrolls inside it for different portions of the RPM range. On top of that, you've got direct injection. You've got their completely variable valve train technology, and you've got traditional front-engine, longitudinal, rear-wheel drive only. Not even an all-wheel drive available on this guy. This is a 6-cylinder inline, and it's a pretty big piece of metal, so they've done a good job of shoving it way back toward the cowl, meaning you get some very nice weight distribution on this car. It's about 49.51, which is pretty good considering how big a lump you've got up here in the nose. Now, while this may be a rather compact car, it's got sort of mid-range to good fuel economy. You've got 2028 with the manual, but a significant haircut if you get the dual-clutch automated manual. Then you go down to 1825. That's quite a delta, and it's also unusual to see a manual do better these days. Get the stick. Now, 1 Series is not a tech tour de force in the cabin. Most of BMW's cool cabin tech not spoken here. In fact, on this particular car, we don't even have an LCD head unit. Nav's not optioned. And I like the fact that we've got the old school orange and black display, what they used to call the BMW business radio. Now what do they call it? Oh, professional. Makes no sense at all, but I like the look. Very stripped down and Spartan for a car that I think does best in that vein. You've got all the sources you really need. AM, FM, HD radio, CD slot, USB, iPod, and an aux jack. What you're missing is satellite radio. If you want that, you've got to get a big old fat option package. That irks me. It's not a la carte, nor is it standard. Also not available here, rear view camera. Forget it, you can get park sensors. It's about as good as it gets. No driver assistance technologies. None of the stuff that takes this car off mission or off price. Now, there's only one word that really applies to this car. It's not spacious, it's not luxurious, it doesn't have any real presence, but it's tossable, and that's what a 1 Series is all about, especially with the big motor. Now, I wish I didn't have the turbo lag. There is some in there, and when it kicks in, there's definitely a sort of a knee that you get to, but you can push this guy around a corner with that nice weight balance. There we go. That nice, deep, bottomless torque once you tap into it. And it's a party on four wheels. Here we go. Dive in, lean on it, keep the speed up, and let that rear end just hang out. Whee! Nice. Built to toss, and built to stay that way. Now, I've got the traction control off. It's actually not too intrusive when it's on. I'm putting it back on now. Throw into number 3 right here, and it kind of catches you right as you're about to have too much fun. Very nice. This is an autocrosser's dream, with the exception of the fact that, that the turbo boost is not linear when it kicks in. I would love to drive this car with the non-turbo inline 6, and then you may have the perfect tossable, predictable 1 Series. The nice thing about a car that's a smaller form factor like this one is that you wear it more than drive it. I mean, it's no BRZ or Miata, but it's definitely a car that feels like it's more tailored to you than one of the bigger BMWs that has equal prowess. It's just more personal. Correct. It's just hard to get this car angry at you. Now, there aren't going to be tires left at the end of this particular video, but that's BMW's problem. Whew. In the end, this is one of the most fun cars to push around a track. Front engine, rear drive, lots of power, and a nice weight balance. A forgivable little guy as well. If you get in trouble with this car, you were asking for it. Okay, let's price our 2013 135 IS. Top of the stack for the 1 Series in the US, unless you want a convertible. $44,100 out the door with destination. Now, to get it CNET style, I'm going to pass over the premium package. That's $2,400 I don't want to spend on a bunch of convenience features that just lard the car up. Instead, I'll take $2,350 and put that in the tech package. Now we're talking navigation, BMW apps, and more. Although it does add an LCD head unit to the car and kind of take it off its purest mission, that's the CNET style choice. $875 for Harman Kardon audio, good choice there. And while I love the price, I'm going to skip that dual clutch automated manual. It's only $450, a blind steal, but this car needs a manual gearbox. So done up our way, it's $44,100. Closer to $50 than I want to be for the baby Beamer, but this is a nice car that's as close as you'll get to the way it used to be.